I've been with my husband for almost 20 years, but about 3 years ago, I was strongly considering divorce, and I want to talk to you about why. So I'm going to tell you the story of the day where I thought to myself, maybe I don't want to do this anymore. My husband and I had 4 kids. We both worked full time. We'd been together for 16 years at this point. We've been together since high school. And on paper, I have an amazing husband. He is incredibly supportive. He's kind. He's loyal. He's a great dad. He's very hands-on. He's an active participant. He's always present. Like, on paper, what else could I ask for? But in reality, my experience is very similar to the experience of other women. I had this amazing husband who on paper was great, but I was incredibly frustrated and burnt out from our marriage and from motherhood. Because what happens to so many of us is that we marry these amazing men and we have amazing relationships, and then we have kids. And when we have kids, women tend to carry a disproportionate amount of the work in the home, the work of raising kids, and the mental load. And that is exactly what happened to us. About 3 months after my 4th baby was born, I remember looking at my husband and saying, I need more. I need you to do more. I am exhausted. I am in charge of everyone and everything in this house. Every night when we cook dinner, you ask me what to make. Every day when you drop off the kids at daycare, you ask me what they need in their backpacks. I am the project manager of this home and I need you to do more. And he looked at me and he said, okay, just tell me what to do. Right? Every woman has heard this. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And I said, okay, something that would make my life easier is if in the mornings when I came downstairs with the 4 kids, because I do mornings by myself, the dishwasher was emptied, the dishes were put away, and the trash was taken out. That would make my life so much easier, because when I've got the 4 kids running around and the baby crying, I can't be looking for their favorite water bottle in the dishwasher. I just need to know it's clean. And he said, yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll do that. That's no problem. And so, of course, he does it. But then I have to remind him, and then he forgets, and then I have to remind him again. And there was this one morning where I woke up, and I went to put something in the trash and it was overflowing. And I went to get my son's water bottle and it was in the dishwasher with all the other clean dishes. And I felt so disrespected and unseen and unvalued at that point in time. And I remember texting my husband being like, what happened?
So we have this woman here who essentially almost ended her marriage because the dude didn't take the trash out. He refused to take the trash out, or whatever the case may be. And this is something I wanted to talk about on the channel for quite some time, guys, because we are watching marriages end over trash day, okay? We're not talking about some significant issue. We're not talking about the man cheating or doing something awful to the woman. We are talking about the fact that this woman is prepared to ruin her marriage over trash day, okay? And these are the same women, by the way, who are wondering, why won't men marry me? Because these women, they go out there, they return to the dating markets. Of course, no dude wants to marry them, because why the hell would you? And then they start crying, like, where's Prince Charming? Oh, I want to have more kids. Or, why can't I have more kids? Where are the men at? But they're not talking about the fact that women are just leaving marriages because they feel like it. People oftentimes say that I'm being mean or too harsh, guys. But if you go out there and look at it from men's perspective, you look at the divorce statistics, okay? 70+% of divorces are initiated by the woman. As far as I know, that goes higher if the woman is college educated. So you have all of these women who are just making these TikTok videos showing exactly why men should not even marry them in the first place. Like, let that sink in for a second, guys. 70% plus of divorces are initiated by women. Okay, and again, marriages, divorces, these are things where the man stands to lose everything. Okay, and the reason why the man stands to lose everything is because the man is typically the one risking everything. He typically earns more. Okay, like, let's not even kid ourselves as far as that goes, guys.
And I remember texting my husband being like, what happened? Like, why didn't you do this? And he said, sorry, I was running late for work. And I remember thinking, oh my God, he doesn't see me. Because what he's done has now made me late for work. And he doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about the impact on me. And he doesn't see how every single thing in our home happens because I asked him to do it, or because I do it myself, or because I planned and organized it. The diaper bag is full because I filled it, right? I put the wipes in there. And I felt so frustrated. And I remember thinking, what's the point? What's the point of doing this with someone else? I might as well just do it at home. And it's not because my husband didn't love me or he did anything to me. And it's not because I didn't love him, but because I felt so taken advantage of in our relationship. And this dynamic It doesn't happen by accident, right? It's not like my husband did it to me, but we've been raised in this society that tells men and women who they should be in marriages and what it looks like to be a good mom versus a good dad. And we know the bar for moms is way up here and the bar for dads is way down here. And we fell into these norms. We fell into these roles in our family, despite the fact that we never wanted to. And I'm lucky.
Let's not even kid ourselves as far as that goes, guys. When women are getting married to these guys that they resent, they're obviously marrying the dudes who can provide for them. Right, they're marrying those provider guys who are always there for them, who weren't going to leave them, that sort of a thing. Because obviously Chad didn't want to marry these women. You know, he's got options. Why the hell would he? Okay, and it's just totally ridiculous to me how you can have dudes go out there. You know, they work 60 hours a week. Okay, they fix the house, they play with the kids, right? They do everything right, but it's like they make one arbitrary mistake and then all of a sudden the woman is divorcing you on a random Tuesday. There's no rules, okay? It's a completely invisible scoreboard. The only judge is the woman, and she can leave at any time, okay? And that is not something that I think is good for men. So this is exactly why. This is reason number 579 why men, and then there's the whole attitude thing of modern women, okay? We haven't even spoken about that. But just this situation alone, guys, shows you why men don't want to get married. And I'll always see these, you know, these guys who are like older and married and stuff like this. Maybe they've been with one woman their entire life. And I just want to preface this whole thing by saying, if you're a dude and you're in a relationship, if you're in a marriage, excuse me, and you guys have been married for 10 years, I think that's fantastic. Okay. I'm not trying to roast successful marriages. If you're one of the lucky guys who has been married for like 20 years, your wife cooks for you, you know, she wasn't like a club girl or anything like that, then, you know, I have nothing negative to say. I wish those men all of the best. But there are a lot of married guys out there who will say, well, I've been married for the last 10 years and it's worked, you know, it's worked out great for me. You should go out there and get married. But the thing is, marriage is not a winning game for men. You know, and you'll have all of these guys trying to convince these younger men, trying to convince these dudes to go out there and get married when it's just a completely ridiculous thing to go out there and do. Again, the woman can leave you at any point in time. You take on all of the risk as the man. It's completely, and a lot of these women, let's get onto the attitude stuff for a second here, okay? A lot of the women in these situations who are looking for marriage from men, it's usually when they're pushing 30 these days, okay? So oftentimes you're dealing with a woman who has a bunch of experience with men, who's oftentimes going to feel incredibly entitled, who's probably not going to respect you, who's going to have all sorts of emotional issues and crap that you're going to have to deal with and put up with, you know, so you get the short end of the stick as well. You don't get the woman when she was like 22, you know, you get the woman when she's like 28 now, and now she's looking for a provider to settle down with. That's insulting to men, okay? The other thing I wanted to get into, guys, on this little bit of a ramble video here is the fact that, you know, women seem to think this crap is funny, okay? The amount of TikTok videos I have seen at this point, literally numbers in the thousands, okay, of women coming online, trying to shame their husbands, trying to shame their boyfriends. And they literally think that, you know, because they get attention for the videos, then that means that they're in the right, you know, like they just like the attention because they think that shaming their husbands, shaming their boyfriends gives them social currency. And what I mean by that is, like, if you look in the comments sections of these videos, guys, you will typically always see other single crazy cat women. I don't have another word aside from cat women, okay? You know, women, we all know the women I'm talking about, okay? The women who have a collection of cats, right? They're always in the comments supporting the woman who posted the video. Like, oh, yes, go ahead and leave him, queen. You deserve better. You should leave this man immediately. What? He didn't take out the trash and he was supposed to? That's weaponized incompetence. You're doing all of the emotional labor. You know, they'll even start just making up words that make no damn sense. And the whole time this is going on, the husband is just getting roasted. You know, the dude is getting shamed. The dude's having his entire life posted on social media.
And I'm lucky, and I say lucky because I have a partner who I know loves me and wants me to be happy. and was willing and able to change. And so we did the work to figure out what equity looked like in our relationship. And I can tell you now, 3 years later, that we are happier than ever. Our kids are thriving. Our home runs like a well-oiled machine. And that took a lot of work. I want to say it took like 18 months to get there. And it was well worth it. But it is not uncommon. And so if your wife is coming to you and she's saying, I'm burnt out by the mental load and I need you to do more, she's not just saying that because she wants you to do more chores. She's saying that because truly it can hurt your relationship. It can ruin your marriage if you do not participate in an equitable way in your home. And so what does that look like? What does it look like to change these dynamics? Well, we need to really assess in our homes what the work looks like. Because in most homes, the data supports this, women do a disproportionate amount of the work. They just do. They do more of the cooking and the cleaning and the laundry and the childcare while also working full time. And men have more time for things like their hobbies, like golf, for example, or just working out, running a marathon, right?
I don't think a lot of these women understand or care, or a combination of the two, that men actually don't like having their lives posted on social media. Like women can't seem to understand this. And, even if they did, they probably don't care because they're disrespecting their husbands anyway. But in general, men don't like having their lives all over the internet. They don't like sharing all their personal details. They don't like sharing where they're going. A lot of guys prefer to live quiet lives. They're not all about that social media life. But these women are, okay? And they will go online and they will do anything to get attention, even if it means sabotaging their marriage, even if it means roasting their husbands for absolutely no reason. And mind you, the reasons why these women are roasting their husbands, let's be clear about this, okay? When the women are roasting their husbands, let's not pretend like a lot of them are useful insofar as the domestic chores go, okay? Like the women who are making videos complaining about their husbands taking out the trash, let's be honest, it's not like they're cleaning the house properly, okay? It's not like they're pulling their own weight any more than the man might be. In fact, usually what's happening is the women actually contribute significantly less than the man. I don't see the women going out there and typically working 60-hour work weeks. And I say typically because there's always going to be some person in the comments, there'll be like one woman who watches the channel and she'll be like, actually, Taylor, I work 60 hours. Yeah, but what I'm saying here is the majority of women don't work, they're not working to support their husbands. Usually it's the dude who's doing the majority of the work, or at the very least, he's bringing in the majority of the money. And you have women sitting there thinking that they're entitled to that money, and they will roast him and they will post TikTok videos and crap like this. And it's just insane to me how not only as the man do you get the short end of the stick insofar as the woman you end up with, okay, but the woman doesn't even like you anyway.
And so we need to have hard conversations about what our time looks like, what our labor in the home looks like, what is invisible labor. We have to talk about these things. And when we don't, the alternative is that you no longer have a marriage, or you don't have a happy one at least. And so I share this story because I don't think I'm alone in this experience. And I want people to know that there's hope, and that if you have a willing and able partner, you can change this. You can absolutely change this dynamic.
Like a lot of these guys, like they think temporarily, like, oh, I've won the lottery, I can finally get married. This woman who is the woman of my dreams, she's finally interested in me. It's my turn. And, she'll have like 2 kids to like random dudes that you don't even know. Or if she doesn't have kids, she'll have attitude problems. And it's not a victory for men. A lot of these guys are naive. They don't know any better. They've been lied to their entire lives. Like, this is not a victory whatsoever. And of course, any of the contributions that the man makes, like this is the crap that I was just talking about, okay? With the man going out there and working 60 hours a week, 70, whatever. These things are invisible to a lot of women. Like, it doesn't matter, okay? If the woman is unattracted to you, if she doesn't respect you, you can be Jeff damn Bezos, okay? And the woman will still disrespect you anyway. I don't know if any of you guys, I might ask my editor to put in an image, if we can find it now, actually, of Jeff Bezos, his wife, like looking up at Leonardo DiCaprio, and she's like clearly very attracted to this other dude right in front of Jeff, by the way. And, I say this, okay? And people think I'm joking. I say, you can literally be Jeff Bezos. You could be the richest man or whatever he is, like second richest man, I don't know, on the planet. And you'll still get disrespected by these women. And dudes think that I'm joking. Well, how about that picture that I've just asked my editor to put up of Jeff Bezos and his wife looking at, looking at Leonardo DiCaprio like he's the greatest thing ever? Like this is really what men have to look forward to. This is why I'm going to get married. I can go out there, I can make hundreds of millions of dollars. Right? Let's just assume I could make hundreds of millions of dollars, okay? What now? I'm going to get a wife that the odds are she's going to leave me. She's going to try and take my money. She doesn't respect the man to begin with. Like, this is just a game that men are not interested in playing anymore. Guys, bit of a ramble over. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you take care of yourself, or yourselves rather, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.